Well, after Roy Keane said some madness the other day, saying Erling Haaland is, as good as or on the level of a League Two player, it has ruffled a lot of Jimmies. A lot of people have been annoyed. Some people have been quite, thoroughly pissed off. Others have laughed. Some others have said, actually, you know what, he's got a point. Because a lot of people have now questioned themselves in terms of, is Erling Haaland a good striker? Now, is he a goal scoring machine? 100%, no doubt about it. Has he scored to the rate that he was scoring last season? This season, no, he hasn't, because the stats do show that. And you can see he's had, I think, the most misses in the league, like open chance misses or something like that. I think only Darwin Nunez of Liverpool is equal to or just ahead or something to that effect. So it's between Haaland and Nunez. And look, they were the two big strikers when they came in at the start of last season. So something to be said in that maybe. Obviously, if Darwin takes his chances, he's probably scoring 10 more goals this season. And, same with Haaland, if he's going to be banging his goals in, maybe chasing the golden boot respectively. But that's neither here nor there. Haaland is a goal scorer, no doubt about it. Maybe he doesn't play the number 9 or the striker role we used to see in this day and age in football because things are different and different managers approach their teams in different ways. And in a Pep Guardiola team, everyone has sort of started pointing out, if they haven't noticed it already, how everyone is robotic. Reference that Thierry Henry video where he scores a goal and then he gets subbed off when he was playing for Barca under Pep because he did something that Pep told him not to do. I mean, I've never seen a manager get annoyed and sub a player off for scoring a goal for his club. That's mad. In any case, we're going to jump over to Footy Judge Mo and hear what he has to say. He had a bit of a question regarding Erling Haaland and Pep in the sense of, is this now a problem because Pep Guardiola has made it a problem? Because this is what Pep Guardiola does with his squads. You have to be a robot. You have to play the Pep way. And if you're a creative player, well, screw that, because there's no chance that you're going to show your creativity in this team.
Why do players go to Man City, some of them, and become robotic? As Rory said, the guy at Salzburg was great. The guy at Dortmund looked way more exciting than now. Jack Grealish looked exciting at Aston Villa. It's not exciting anymore. Some players, is it just the same? It's just that the system that Pep plays. Is that something we can criticize Pep for?
I think so.
You might have ruined a player here.
No, but
see, this is the thing though. Can you criticize Pep for having a player who was like an 8 out of 10 and making him 6.5, 7 out of 10, but a player that does what they're instructed to and plays on the winning side who wins silverware? I guess that's the overall, overarching factor there. Do they win trophies? Yes, they do. Does it matter how they play, whether they're robotic, whether they have their own flair, or if they just do what they're told to? This is what we're discussing now, because I've heard a lot of people online say as well, Pep has ruined football because everyone tries to play the Pep Guardiola way, possession-based, take your time, stretch players out, press here, move the ball there, and always just you're crossing it into your main striker. Like, you're not going to see a Liverpool team, at least, we haven't seen one like that in many a season. I think ever since we had probably Crouch in front of goal, we have a target man where the ball just goes whipped into the target man and then bang, you knock yourself a header. And if that's how you want to play, that's fair enough. This may be the way Pep wants to play. But we've seen Liverpool with false nines and, rotating forward lines and all these sorts of things where there's no out-and-out striker. Goals come from the left wing, from the right wing, from the midfield, from the centre forward or the false nine, whatever it is. So there are different ways of getting your goals, but for a Pep squad, everything has to be to the man up front, to the target man, and that's what it seems to be. Where you look at Erling Haaland, and he just is that target man, and he is the robotic goal scoring machine, shall we say?
No, because it's effective. Like, they won the treble last year with a robotic Jack Grealish, a robotic Erling Haaland.
I don't support Man City.
But Pep's job is to win trophies, not to entertain Man City, and that's the thing. Yeah. And Arsenal players are becoming more robotic. 100%. Gabriel Martinelli. It's a lot of what Arsenal fans fell in love with about Martinelli has kind of been taken from his game, but it's just about being more effective.
But this the thing now. if that's the case, then all the players, imagine having players of yesteryear. I know football has changed. A lot has changed in football over the last 10, 20 years. Imagine having an R9 and just saying you cannot dribble past players. You can't do what you do best because it's not what is best for the system. Imagine telling Ronaldo not to chop in off the left wing, off the right wing, center forward line. Don't run at it. Don't run at defenders. Don't do anything yourself. Imagine telling Beckham not to whip crosses in early balls when he saw an opportunity to only to do it in a certain area of the pitch. You'd never get the players that we now idolize and look at as greats and legends and icons of the game. You just wouldn't get that. Imagine having R9 in the City squad right now. You would not have R9 that we know of. That's just the way the football goes, in my opinion, at least. Because as you see in Erling Haaland, he's not an R9. He's not a dribbler. He doesn't have that flair stuff. But I do believe there is a player in Erling Haaland who can drop deep, receive a ball, take on a player. He's a big boy. He's solid. He can nudge off the ball easily. He can do these things. He can barrage down forward on goal. We've seen him do it. Was it against Bournemouth or whoever it was a few weeks ago when a player slipped and then he just managed to run through and get in on goal and hit one into the back of the net. He's capable of that. But this is not the system that Pep has. That has Erling Haaland or Grealish or Doku, anyone like that doing what they're doing. Now, Man City fans, by all means, please counter it. Like, obviously, you watch your team more than I do, me being a Liverpool fan, but still a rival in that sense, watching football still. But even everyone says, like, Grealish is not the Grealish that we knew at Villa. He just doesn't do the same things. He's on the left wing. He's only meant to do certain things. He doesn't cut in. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that because that's what Pep's instructed him to. Haaland doesn't do these things because that's what Pep's instructed him to. Imagine Pep telling Messi not to dribble past the whole team and score a goal. Just imagine that. But that's what Pep has created with this Man City team. Again, this is not a Pep shouldn't be doing this. This is more of a, this is what people are observing now. But do City fans care? Do the players themselves give a shit because they're winning silverware, which is the aim of the game? So if you've had a 8 or 9 out of 10 player on average, and you've turned them into a 6.5, 7 out of 10 player, but they're winning things consistently, do you actually care?
And even I'd say Doku at this point doesn't look anywhere near as exciting as he did when he first came into that City team. So, yeah, I mean, for the neutrals and for football fans, you could say Pep is ruining it, but he's paid to win things.
I think there's that video clip of Thierry Henry in there.
There it is.
That's done the rounds for time when he went over to the right-hand side for Barcelona, scores a goal, then Pep goes mad at him, hooks him off because he wasn't doing as he was told. So
that's mad.
The system over expression, really, isn't it? But like Rory says, you can't argue with Pep because he wins things. It is what it is. We'll wait to see at the end of the season, won't we? But yeah, look, my opinion is, and again, I just think it's wild to have a conversation about him being a bad footballer when he scores as many goals as he does. That's all.
Again, Haaland being a bad footballer overall, I'd say okay, let's have a discussion. Let's actually talk about this and see where his plays. Where does he start to play? Does he involve himself in anything? Does he do any 1-2s? Does he do any tiki taka? I mean, this bloke on the cover here of this game, does this man do anything? I bought it cheap, actually, very, very cheap yesterday. It's the only reason why I bought it. This man, does he do anything worthwhile besides scoring goals? And if the answer is no, he doesn't, but he scores goals, then nobody gives a shit. But in this day and age, in this football that we see, that we play, how many strikers, your Ivan Tonys, Roberto Firmino of yesteryear, shit, even your Darwin Nunez when he's playing centre forward for Liverpool, if it's your Harry Kanes at Bayern Munich and at Tottenham before that, when things weren't going their way, because we've seen when things don't work for City, there is no plan B in a sense. When the service has stopped to Haaland, they're not doing anything unless it's like a deflection, a ricochet out into the box, and Rodri has a pop, or Foden has a dig, or Silva, or someone like that, right? Haaland doesn't get the service. He doesn't get the goals that probably he should be scoring. I think he's got the skills and the talent to do it on his own, but it's just not happening because the system does not allow for Haaland to play this way and do what he probably can do naturally, because Pep says, no, you don't do that. This is not how we play Pep ball or Man City ball or whatever term we want to put behind it, right? So I get that. Goal scoring is a given. The footballing aspect overall, a lot of discussion. Who's a better footballer, Haaland or Darwin Nunez? You know what I mean? No one said anything about goals, just pure football. Who's better to watch on the ball is the question.
I agree, but
technically he ain't great, but like, okay, but it doesn't matter when you score that many goals.
That's true.
Yeah, I just think you can say he can be ineffective in certain games, but then, like I said, it's on Pep to figure that out, not Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's actually on Pep. It's not Haaland's fault, to be honest. Listen, people, there's over 300.
There you go. That's a little bit there. So I'll link it down below. I just wanted to add my little 2 cents to that because I thought it was an interesting discussion. Roy Keane says Haaland is, no better than a League 2 footballer. In maybe a footballing aspect, let's have a discussion. I think that's a bit harsh. I think he's better than League 2. I think he is Premier League, Serie A, Bundesliga level. We've seen it before. We all know what he can do. Obviously not in the Serie A, but you never know where he ends up. Or La Liga for that matter. At La Liga as well. Is he just going to be another target man just waiting for service for the ball to be knocked in? Some years ago, you used to be able to do that. You used to be able to be just that target man. He just does nothing all game, gets one chance, bang, scores a goal, gets man of the match, for example. That's how these things work sometimes. I suppose that's maybe a consequence or a byproduct of the football that Pep Guardiola plays, being a very robotic, systematic approach to the game. But hey, it's a discussion that we can have. You can let me know your thoughts down below. Shout out to Footy Judge Mo, shout out to Rory, and also to Joe, who is the Leeds fan, I should say. Definitely is a good watch as well. So shout out to the boys there. And that is pretty much it for this video. You let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you next time.